Hi, Alison here. Today I'm going to show you how I salvaged and repurposed an old starter field coil and turned it into a lovely copper bracelet. I get absolutely thrilled when I receive a parcel, especially when it's copper. So my younger brother Gordon gave me a call and he said he has sent me some copper and he popped that in the mail. It's arrived today. So let's see what he has sent me. Some field coils. Ah, two. Smaller one and a bigger one. A bit burnt. It's going to need quite a bit of cleaning. So I don't know. There, that's, you can see nicely there. It's quite thick. This is going to be ideal for a hammered bracelet. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Okay, this is slightly finer. It's also quite thick. Could also hammer something there. I'm immediately thinking of a bracelet I can make with this one. Quite a bit of cleaning up to do. But this is a nice bunch of copper wire. Or copper, flat copper should I say. It's not copper wire. Flat copper. Wow. I better put my thinking cap on and see what I can come up with. I think I can make quite a couple of bracelets with this lot. Wow, thanks, Goody. Appreciate it. I'm just going to show you a little bit of the stripping process here. It's quite a dirty job, yet quite satisfying. It's like therapeutic. So once I got most of this insulation, old burnt insulation off here, the rest of the stuff will be burnt off. You want to get most of it off, so when you do burn any excess off, you don't get a whole lot of smoke and fumes. Sure, it really did burn. I think this would have been from a starter. But that's an idea of the process of salvaging copper. This is what one goes through. This is excessive. It is quite horribly burnt. Okay, so let me show you a little bit of this process. I've got one of the coils here that I'm going to now burn the old insulation and varnish off. So basically I want to loosen it up a little bit so the flame can get in between the copper as well. Okay, that should do the trick. This is just an old number plate that I'm using. It's a makeshift pit. I can't set my camera up in my usual spot, so this will have to make do. I think that should do the trick. Okay, I think it's burnt most of the insulation off. I'm going to put it in acid bath now and let the acid do the rest of the cleaning. Okay, so this is what we've got after it's soaking a little bit in the acid bath. Okay, so what we're going to do is just knock this straight. We're going to need quite a bit of copper for this bangle that I'm making. And I'll get into the measurements with you now after I've straightened it. I know approximately what the measurements are going to be. It's just going to be so much easier to handle. It's a bit better. It's got a couple of kinks in it there. So we're going to move on from the mallet. The mallet's done its job. I'm just going to get a metal hammer. Before I start the bracelet, I am going to anneal again because I want the copper really, really soft when I start working. That's straight enough to start the bracelet. So lots of preparation goes into this. I didn't quite realize that. When you got to take a video of it, then you realize exactly what the process involves. So let's get to our measurements quickly. I have annealed this. I've left a bit of, I've just rubbed a cloth over it just to get rid of the residue. But let's get down to the measurements quickly. I made this little bracelet about 10 years ago. This is what we're going to be aiming at today. I love, love, love this little bracelet. I did use a much thinner flat copper on this one. It seems to be about a millimeter. Basically, I've counted these little segments. I have got 20 here. It's a double layer, front and the back. So let's say 40 segments. I want to make this bracelet slightly bigger. And it's going to be quite a robust bracelet because this is much thicker. So I think I'm going to, as I say, make it about 16 centimeters, 17 centimeters in length. .2 might be a bit skew. 2.1. It's a bit buckled. So let's say 2 millimeters in comparison to 1 mil. I think the segments are going to be almost the same. This one is slightly wider. Okay. So we've got 20 here. I'm going to add on, say, 2 on that side, 2 on that side, another 4. So we're going to end up both sides 48 times 7.4, let's say 8 mils. Give us a little bit of play. That one's got some quite deep buckles in it. It should do, I hope, otherwise I'm going to end up making a small bracelet. Right, so I've taken 50 centimeters. This is 2 mils thickness, and this is 6 mils wide. Right, we can start with a bracelet. Okay, that was quite a tough bend, so I'm going to anneal this again before we actually start flattening it. If you look at this, we've got to try and keep these coils as close as possible to each other. Okay, so what we're going to do is, before we start hammering, when you do hammer in the initial stages, it really gets out of shape. So we're going to just squash it in the vise a little bit. But before I get to that, I just want to tighten these, get these little ears tightened in. We don't need them anymore. I left them because when you have turned this on to a shaft and it's too tight, this little ear, or these little ears, actually help you to get it off the metal. This would be the time just to tidy up your coils a little bit. This is pretty even. Okay, what I do is I put a little piece of material in the vise. I don't want to mar this copper because we're going to be giving it quite a good crunch. Just means I'm going to have a flat surface, or a flatter surface when it comes to hammering. That should do it. I think I've got a flat enough surface now. So when you do start hammering, it's not going to bounce all over the show and try and roll. At least you've got a pretty flat surface. Okay, we can start hammering then. Just going to anneal it quickly. The moment I've been waiting for. So make sure that your workpiece, if you're going to make this bracelet, lies nice and flat at all times. If you see it start twisting, pop it in the vise again and just bend it straight. See that the metal is nice and soft. So we're probably going to anneal again once I start hammering away. I'm not using a big hammer. I'm just going to use this little hammer. I want to manipulate these wires, keeping that gap very close. Let's hope I can do it. This is the first time I'm making it after about 10 years. So I'm trying to remember the steps. So let's see how I go. Okay. I'm going to start in the middle and work out, I think. And I'm not going to hit hard. Okay, it's starting to twist slightly now. So I'm just going to nip it up in the vise quickly and just correct that. Okay, I nipped it up straight. Just going to anneal it quickly. Okay, it's annealed, it's cool. I see it's splayed out a little bit there, but not too badly. Just check this. This is 15, this is my measurement, so I needed it a little bit longer. I think we almost got our length. What I'm going to do is pin a pattern texture into it now. Okay. Pop that into some vinegar and salt for a little bit. Okay, fire scale's gone. You could have left fire scale in there and given it a rustic look. I chose to give it a shiny look this time. You can also choose not to texture it. I like the texture with this bracelet. As you can see, it did splay a little bit too much on that one. But I'd need to practice a little bit more to get that right. Anyway, let's trim it off. Let me show you quickly. I'm going to just nip that little piece off in line there. Okay, that's the back, front. It does not have to be filed at all. There are no sharp edges on it. I think once you start filing, you're actually going to end up with sharp edges. So it'll just sort of go backwards. So all I'm going to do now is file these ends off. Finish that off nicely. And then polish it finally. Give it a nice sheen. And then we can bend our bracelet. Okay, let's start this. So we're just going to get our initial arc. See that it's centered. Well, there we go, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video and the whole process that it takes to actually get to that final stage.